learners. I would like to welcome you to session 9 of the series of our course CMP 202 Computer Application. But before we go, I want to just give you a quick recap of what we learned in our previous section. We talked about the system development life cycle, where stakeholders like system engineer, users, designers, and system network administrators are very important and germane in developing any system. We look at different models in which a system can be developed, for instance, like the waterfall, V-shape, rapid, and every other. Then we look again at some of the advantages and disadvantages of SDLC. But for this class, we are going to look at computer networks. Then, and some of the things that we are going to understand, we are going to look at involves the understanding the concept behind the computer networks, the type of computer network, and the basic network topology, as well as the devices and their uses in the network. Then, computer network itself is a digital communication network for sharing resources between nodes. Sometimes we call nodes computers nodes, which are computing devices that use a common telecommunication technology. And a computer network can still be defined as a group of computers linked to each other that enables the computer to communicate with one another and share their resources, their data, and their application. Some of the characteristics of computer networks are they share resources from one computer to another. They share files and store them in one computer and share it among other computers. That is, when files are created and they are stored, they can be stored in all over computers. That is, one file that are created in one computer can be accessed by any other computer as long as it's in that network. Then there is opportunity for hardware like printer, like scanner, fax machine, to connect to any other computer within that network and share these files that as if they are working with the same computer. Then there are different types of computer networks. The LAN, that is local area network, the personal area network, then metropolitan area network, then the wide area networks. These are different types of computer network. Then let's look at them one by one. The LAN, which of course is the local area network, is a group of computers connected to each other in a small area such as building, office. Then LAN is used for connecting two or more personal computers through communication medium, so that the twisted pair, then the coaxial cable, all these are just communication medium. Then it's not very costly and it is built with inexpensive hardware such as the hubs, the network adapters, Ethernet cables. Then the data is transferred at an extremely fast rate then there is a very high security under local area network. Then let's look at the personal area network. It's a network arranged within an individual person, typically within a range of 10 meters. PAN is used for connecting to computer devices of personal use, and it is the research scientist Thomas Zimmerman brought the idea of a personal area network, which of course covers a maximum area of 30 feet. The personal computer devices that are used are the devices that are used are laptop, mobile phone, media player, and PlayStation. Then another one, there are two types of PAN. We have the wired and wireless personal area network. The wireless personal area network is developed by using technology that is the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, which of course they have a very short range of network to cover. The wired personal network is created by the use of USB, universal serial bus. And the examples of personal area network, there are three examples. We have the body area network and the offline network, then the small home office. For the body area network, is a network that moves with a person. A mobile network moves with a person. Such a person establishes a network connection and then creates a connection with another device to share that information. Then the offline can be created inside the home, such as it becomes an home network. A home network is designed to integrate the devices, or like the printer, the scanner, even the television, but they are not connected to the internet. That is why they are called offline network. Then the small home office is used to connect a variety of devices to the internet and to a corporate network using a VPN. Then the MAN, which of course is the Metropolitan Area Network, is a network that covers a larger geographical area by interconnecting a different LAN to form a larger network, like is very common in government agencies. Then various LANs are connected to each other through telephone exchange line. Then, which of course they use the protocols mostly used by LAN is RS-282, then the frame relay, ATM, ISDN, OS3, as the case may be, and the ADSL. These are different protocols that are used by Metropolitan. Then it has a very large range than the LAN. Then you can see the example diagram. Look at the diagram of different LANs that are connected to Metropolitan Area Network. The uses of a Metropolitan Area Network involves they can be used in the bank, airline reservation, the college within a city, communication in the military. These are very, very important areas where it is used. Then the last one out of the types of the network is the one which of course is a wide area network, which of course is a network that extends over a large geographic area such as states, country, even across the continents. It is quite bigger because network than the LAN, and also not limited to a single location, but it spans over a large geographic area through a telephone line, fiber optic cable, or satellite links. The internet is one of the biggest one in the world. It is widely used in the field of business and education. Then let's look at the examples of wide area network. We have the mobile broadband. That is the technology of 4G network, which of course is the technology that is based on our mobile phone. Then last mile, a telecom company is used to provide the internet service to the network, to the customers in hundreds of cities by connecting their home. Then the private network. These are some of the examples of a wide area network. A bank provides a private network that connects their offices. This network is made by using the telephone list line. The advantages of wide area network has to span. There are two basic areas that will enjoy this advantage of wide area network based on their geographical location and their centralized data. What I mean by the geographical location is that the one provides a large geographical area. Suppose if the branch of one office is in a different city or continent or country, you can still connect to using this one technology. You can access the resources that are available in any other branch. Then when you are accessing the resources, because wherever the centralized data is kept or is stored, you may not need to buy the email or file or backup server, but you can always have access to collecting information from the server, from the system there. You can have updated files through the one. You can exchange messages And one of the things that you enjoy most is the Facebook, WhatsApp, Skype. It's because they are on one technology. You can share software and resources. You can even share hardware resources as well. Then there's a tendency for global business to rise because the whole world is based on the is more like a room and parlour. The internet is available globally just because of the technology of the one. The high bandwidth, if we use the least line for our company, then we have the bandwidth is very sufficient, that which of course will make the data transfer rate to be very fast. But the only advantage, some of the advantages that we have in the one is the issue of the security. The one network has more security issues as compared to LAN and WAN, and it's vulnerable to security breach because it's available everywhere. And then there is a need for firewall in order to check the security, to make sure that the security are not compromised. You may need the firewall or use of antivirus, which of course is bringing up another, bringing up another expenses. And we are doing this one to prevent what hackers can do. Then high setup cost. Such installation, different locations across the country, across the cities, will involve high cost. Then troubleshooting the problem, which of course, because of different locations that it is, then there may be need for troubleshooting to be more elaborate. Then we look at network topology. Network topology. The network topology is the arrangement of the elements of a communication network, how these computers are arranged. And we have different arrangements where, for instance, we have the bus topology, in which the network type, every computer and the network device is connected on a single cable. Then the features is that it transmits data only on a single line direction. Every device is connected to that single line. Then the advantages are it is cost effective. Cable required is least compared to network topology used in small network, and it is easy to understand, easy to expand, joining two cables together. Then the advantages are cables fails, then the whole network fails. If the cable fails, the whole network. If network traffic is heavy or nodes are more, the performance of the network decreases. Then again, cable has a limited length. That is, the rate at which the data will be able to move is a function of the cable, and the cable has a limited. Then it is slower than the ring topology. Let's look at another topology, which of course is called the ring topology. It forms a ring as a computer is connected to another. It's in form of a circle from one computer to the other one in form of a ring. Exactly two neighbors for each, with at least with the last one connected to the first one. Exactly, they have two neighbors for each device. The features are a number of repeaters. This technology will use repeater are used for the ring topology with large number of nodes, because if somebody wants to send some data to last one in the ring topology with 100 nodes, then the data will have to pass through 99 nodes to reach the 100 node. Hence, to prevent data loss, repeaters are used in the network. Then the transmission is unidirectional. It's just one direction, but it can be made bidirectional by having two connections between the network nodes. That is dual ring topology. In dual ring topology, the two rings are formed and data flow is in opposite direction in them. Also, one ring fails, the second ring can act as a backup to keep the network up. Data is transferred in a sequential manner, that is bit by bit. Data transmitted has to pass through each node of the network to the destination node. Advantage of ring topology: transmitting network is not affected by high traffic or by adding more nodes, as only the nodes having tokens can transmit. cheap to install and expand. Then the advantages are troubleshooting is difficult in ring topology because it's very difficult to identify the 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 computer that is not transmitting. Then the adding and deleting of the computer disturbs the network because if you are bringing in another computer, it will affect the line of communication have to be broken. Failure of one computer disturbs the whole network. Once there is a problem with computer because it's a form of ring, it affects other topology or computer. The another one that we are looking at is the star topology. The star topology, in this type of topology, all the networks, all the computer that are in that network, they are connected to a single hub through a cable, and that single hub is centrally placed, as there is going to be connection to that hub. That hub is the center node, and all other nodes are connected to that center node. The features are every node has its own dedicated connection to the hub. Hub acts as a repeater for data flow, can be used for twisted pair, then optical fiber or coaxial cable. The advantages of stack topologies are fast performance with few nodes and low network traffic. Its performance is very high. Hub can be upgraded easily, easy to troubleshoot, easy to set up and modify. Only that node is affected which has failed. Rest of the nodes can work. If one node is affected, it doesn't mean that the network is broken or is down. Then disadvantage are cost of installation is very high, expensive to use, and again if the hub fails, then the whole network is stopped because all the nodes depend on the knob. So failure of the hub makes the whole network to break down. Then again the performance is based on the hub that is depends on the capacity. Then another network that we are looking at is the mesh topology. It's a point-to-point connection that to other network nodes or devices. All the network nodes are connected to each other. Mesh has physical connection channels to link n devices as n to n minus 1 over 2, and n there is talking about number of computer. There are two techniques to transmit data over the mesh topology. We have the routing and the flooding. Then what we mean by routing, that means the computer, the nodes or the computer have a routing. This is a kind of logic as per the network requirements, like routing logic to direct the data to reach destination using the shortest distance in the connection. You use the shortest distance, and the routing logic which has the information about the broken links, and it avoids those nodes which will etc. Any node that is broken, it will avoid them. Just try to trace the shortest distance. Then the mesh topology, that is the flooding. The same data is transmitted to all the network nodes. Hence, no routing logic is required. The network is robust and it is very unlikely to lose the data, but it leads to unwanted load over the network. Then we have the diagram of the mesh topology. Then we have two types of mesh topology. We have the partial mesh and the full mesh topology, and the difference is the connection, that this one is fully connected. The features of the, just like what we have been looking at, the features of the mesh topology as they are fully connected, they are robust, and they are not other flexible anyway. Then advantages of mesh topology: each connection can carry its own data load. Yes, it is robust. Fault is diagnosed easily. Then the last one there is provide security and privacy. The advantages of mesh topology is that installation and configuration is very difficult. Cabling cost is more, and bulk wiring is required. Then the last one is a tree topology. This is more of a root node, and all other nodes are connected to it, forming an hierarchy. It is also called hierarchical topology. You should have at least 3 levels of hierarchy. The features are ideal if workstations are located in work group, and it is used in wide area network. The advantages are of tree topology are four. Extension of bus is an extension of bus and star topology. Then the expansion of nodes is possible and easily managed and maintained. The error detection is easily done. The advantages are that there are a lot of heavily, the cables are much, and which of course make it to be expensive, and the nodes are added. When they are not added, the maintenance is very difficult. The central, once the central hub fails, the network will fail too. Then the hybrid topology, when there is a combination of different topologies of star, ring, mesh, which of course is a mixture of two or more topology. So when they are combined together, star or ring, this is what we call the hybrid topology, and that is the diagram. The feature is that it's the combination of two or more topologies inherit the advantages of these topologies and disadvantages of these topologies. That means the advantages of the different topologies are registered in this topology. The advantages like reliable as error detecting and troubleshooting is easy, very effective, scalable as size can be increased and flexible. Then disadvantages are complex in design and they are very expensive. Now we move to network devices. Network devices, that means we are talking about different cables that we can use in our computer network. Some of these cables are the RJ45, which of course we call the Cat5, category 5 cable. Then a computer can be connected to one another through a serial port. They have a serial port. Then we have serial connection. Then we have routers, which of course is there to distribute signals among the computers and other devices. And we have the network card. We have the internal network card. We have that one that can be installed on the board, which of course is the internal network card, and the one that we can slot in on the motherboard, which of course is the external network card. Then the diagrams are shown there. Then again, the technology of USB, universal serial bus, is easy to use and connect. Then we have the different example of this USB is when we look at our USB as in our flash. Then this is the summary of our section. In this section, we are able to look at the communication between two systems as a result of what we call computer network. Then there are different types which we have talked about with different topology and as well as devices to connect them. Thank you for listening.